Testing, testing. Okay.
So, yeah,
Hello, welcome to
I'm
the
here.
Ash Montoya
Hello.
Super Show. I'm here with uh, Gabe, uh,
Yo.
also known as can Dreamersoft. The what is it? The full name
Dreamers
of
of the
your
New
Instagram?
AI.
Ah, sorry. A
It's a
furniture
mouthful.
store ad just played and I got startled. What was that?
It's a mouthful. It's long. Dreamers of the New Aeon.
Yeah, your popular Instagram page.
Yeah, micro celebrity over here.
Yeah. Which usually deals with what esotericism and things like that, memes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
esoteric stuff,
and
faint
we
stuff.
were talking about it wasn't planned. We were just talking about before I started live streaming. Talking about current, Neofolk, Current 93, Death in June. Um, you know, esoteric, occult type music, and so
It was a fascinating movement. It really
yeah,
was. They built like a whole culture around being schizophrenic. I really respect it.
right, yeah,
Being schizo pill. They walked so schizo posters could run.
yeah. And I like how
And they,
Death in June, like Douglas P. of Death in June, was probably the first guy to like do the whole like was like the Roman statue LARP profile picture thing or whatever. Like,
bro, they fucking set the blueprint.
yeah, yeah,
I'm sure, bro, like 80% of this like subculture comes from like the neofolk movement of the 80s.
oh yeah.
They don't know it. They don't know. They don't realize the origin of what they're talking about.
And you think if those boomers of that movement were around today, they would be like terminally online type
I mean,
people?
David Tibet kind of is. Bro, I see David Tibet's likes and like a bunch of like I see his likes, bro, in like esoteric Instagram meme pages. Like there's this one page called Doom Scroll Forever,
Mm.
and I consistently see his likes in that. So he's kind of like he's low key one of us.
Yeah, David Tibet. Yeah, he. Uh, there was recently some guy on Tucker Carlson talking about occultism, and he uh, started spurging out about Current 93. He was like, Current 93, the 93 current. And then Tucker's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
He looks like a leprechaun to me, bro. I can't get it out of my head.
Tucker?
Yeah, he even
Yeah,
kind of laughs like a leprechaun a little bit.
yeah. And Tucker is not going to know who these bands are.
Nah, he's like that conservative, like
He probably likes
mainstream.
Springsteen,
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen type
maybe
guy.
Neil Young, maybe. Nah, I don't even think he's that edgy. No, he likes Grateful Dead. I forgot he's a Deadhead. Do you know that?
I had no
And he met
idea.
Jerry Garcia in the '80s. There's pictures of him with Jerry Garcia.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, I wonder if he ever did acid in one of those festivals.
probably because Tucker
hmm
has done. He was a cokehead, I believe. He said it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um.
funny. It's funny how culture works. You'll see things nowadays. Yeah, even Hyperborea, like the Hyperborea edits. Like I'm pretty sure David Tibet and his companions were making references to like Hyperborea and Agartha in their songs and shit, like way back in the day, and now it's like a meme.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, they're the ones that set the standard for the whole like the larpers pretty much. I mean, um yeah, we were also because we were talking earlier how a lot of those bands had like Nazi imagery or aesthetics and stuff like that. Um, Another band I forgot, which is kind of in the same bucket, because a couple of the members did music with some of these people in this culture world or whatever was Christian Death.
Oh yeah, the
You
goth
can't really
band.
forget them too.
Hmm.
And yeah, all these groups are really all that everybody in that generation was obsessed with esotericism, Satanism, Nazism, and uh, uh,
Hmm.
yeah, and then like also Nicholas
Specifically,
Shrek. What was that? Sorry.
Aleister Crowley.
Yeah, yeah, Aleister Crowley. Yeah, because and also Nicholas Shrek and with Xena Shrek or Xena LeVay, with Radio Werewolf. Well, they made music, Boyd Rice and stuff, and or they knew Boyd Rice, but and all these other people too. So they're part of that kind of culture, and it's kind of interesting because it's kind of goth culture, but it's almost separate from goth culture. It's almost
Hmm.
it's way more. It was like the most like that whole movement was like the most edgy movement of the time, like more edgier
I
than
feel
like
like
the punk movement or whatever. I thought they were really edgy, but actually they were way edgier.
the punk movement was pretty like I don't know how to explain it. Simple, I guess you could say. It was like, oh, anti-authority, never obey,
Mm-hmm.
never conform, right? That was
And
like
a
the
lot of these
whole
guys, they really
idea.
liked embraced fascism and things like that, and like
Hmm. Yeah,
fascist
and that's what
shit.
I was saying. You remember how you were saying Boyd Rice, like everybody saw him as this like kind of like edgy fascist guy, but now he's like a Zionist, like
Yeah,
unironically,
he
or
said
maybe
he's a
ironic.
Zionist on Facebook. I should get him on the show. I bet I can.
And you know what else is funny? David Tibet, he has those like what are they called? Those like Jewish curls. Um,
Yes.
and he just has them like as a bit. You know what I mean? Like just as a bit, just like I feel like their whole shtick or their whole mentality was almost like rage bait. You know what I mean? Like trolling. Like they were like the first trolls and they were the first
Yeah.
LARPers.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, and like Boyd Rice's like Wikipedia alone is why like one of the most wildest Wikipedias you can read
Hmm.
of his life. Like, and they're all also too really into Manson too, or knew him or talked to him.
Oh yeah,
It's another thing too.
Psychic TV. I pretty
Yeah,
sure in a few of Psychic TV songs or albums or whatever they have images of Manson
yeah, because
doing
Boyd
his thing.
Rice and of course Nicholas Shrek already knows, but also Boyd Rice was friends with Manson and stuff. And,
They're really into chaos magic. So, I mean, I
yeah,
guess if you were to really want to understand their ideology or something, you'd look into chaos magic. I've looked in. I mean, chaos magic is relating in a kind of similar way to Aleister Crowley. It's like um, it's kind of like a ritualized form of the New Age. You know, where like a lot of like crystal girls will like try to manifest things.
mm-hmm.
Um, it's basically yeah, it's like using the power of consciousness to yeah, I guess like impose your will on reality, but they also they have this strict belief. It's kind of contradictory because it's like a strict belief that there's like no right way or wrong way. They just value the like the ends justify the means. So they'll create like a sigil,
Mm-hmm.
right? Out of like a fucking piece of wood with like some tape and like a bunch of other things. And that sigil will be like a representation of something you're trying to manifest or something you're trying to attract or something like that. And there's even one technique in chaos magic where you literally masturbate over a sigil. So it's very true to its name. Like it's a very chaotic practice,
Mm.
which is
Yeah,
funny if it's strange that it would be paired with fascism or Nazism because those philosophies are completely kind of like different. It's like according to fascistic thought, it's like there is a 100% objectively correct way of doing things.
Yeah, but also at the same time, I think like a lot. There's a lot of contradictions within this movement, but I almost think they like were aware of it, or like I don't know, tried merging things
Yeah.
together, even if it didn't really work or make sense.
Well, I think what they were is they were artists. Like
Yeah.
they were really they were essentially their thing was art because like you said, the idea of merging something so because if you look at like the audience, right? The current audience or the current practitioners of these forms of magic, you'll usually see people that, it's kind of like the archetype of like dyed-haired woman, like a type of person that used to be on Witch Talk and was like, basically knew about astrology and crystals and it was like kind of like new agey, but then like
Mm-hmm.
went into the rabbit hole a little bit more and got into actual, I guess you could say, witchcraft. So that's like the modern day archetype of like, like do what thou wilt, kind of like more left hand path, um, magic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, oh, you would mix like an authoritarian ideology with that. But what they were doing is they were kind of like trying to transcend labels or logic, and I think that kind of plays into their like jester archetype thing that they're doing with like LARPing as Nazis one day and then LARPing as Jews the other day, and then you
Yeah.
know,
And it feels
like
some of them
even
weren't
even
actually Jews. LARPing is Nazi.
and then Genesis Peorage from fucking Psychic TV is like, I don't even know what that person, or trans or something. I don't even know.
Non-binary. I think.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I think they're non-binary, but uh, freaking I was gonna say yeah, or they were you said oh they're LARPing as Jews, or they were Jews or gays, you know, Nazis trying to
Hmm.
be Nazi or LARPing as Nazis or whatever.
A Jewish transsexual LARPing is a Nazi.
Genis P for yeah, it's a non-binary. Uh,
Hmm.
Vic, uh, what ethnicity were they? They.
White,
That's what it says
British,
on Wikipedia. First one is they. Just English. Kind of looks.
British, yeah.
Oh, okay. Neil Andrew Megson. Hmm. But
That's kind of like an ethnically ambiguous name.
kind of sounds
John
English
Doe
to
ass
me.
name.
Uh,
Yeah.
died in 2020. That's right. I remember. What did they die from? I don't remember. What did they die from?
Probably cancer or some shit.
Cause
AIDS,
I
maybe.
illness and death. Um, leukemia.
It
Okay.
sucks. Rest in peace.
Yep. Only 70.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah. I'm kind of. I mean, I've listened to some, this move like music and stuff. Like I've listened to Current 93 a long time ago. Just recently, Death in June. I've always kind of ignored Death in June, not,
Hmm.
mostly because of like the kind of like uh,
The LARP.
the LARP, the Spurgs that are really into Death in June, the Death in June T-shirt people,
Hmm.
and that's why I kind of avoided it. But I actually really like their music. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of now getting into this, like our interest in a lot of this stuff, and a lot of people, I don't know, it's probably not too late in life to, you know, discover
Yeah,
a lot of stuff. Chris,
yeah. It's
yeah,
never too late. It's
Throbbing
never it's
Gristle, of
never
course,
too
I've
late
heard.
to.
Psychic TV, I've heard. Chris and Cozy, I've heard. I have heard Coil before. I know Coil. There's also
Coil's
Nurse
good.
Keith
Weren't they
Williams.
related?
Yeah,
Coil and
Coil.
Swans weren't they related to
Oh
the
yeah,
whole movement?
Swans is in. I've always heard Swans, dude. Like, there's like thousands of bands in this, like, kind of all related
They
somehow.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And
For
there's no
me,
name. This is
I
funny
I,
too.
I
There is
think
no. They don't even have a name for this movement. There's no. There's no name. There should be a
neofolk
name
is the
for it, but there's
genre.
not, which is funny.
Hmm.
There should be,
I guess you could say it's the neofolk movement because that's like the genre of
but also
music.
a lot of it's not even neofolk. You know, it's other music.
Yeah, a
Other
lot of it's
music.
industrial. Hmm.
Yeah, or like post punk type music. But
Strange.
yeah.
It was like a cult or like a whole almost like an ideology. It was almost like a proto like a sub ideology or some shit like that.
You're right. Yeah. What do you What do you think about Aleister Crowley?
I read some of the Book of the Law. Other than that, I am like kind of a LARPer. I just have to be dead ass with you right now.
Right.
I do think it's I do but I do know Thelema. Like I know about the Thelema was his it was his magical practice and it was derived from well the Order of the Golden Dawn, which was heavily impacted by or influenced by Freemasonry. And
Mm-hmm.
all of this does go back to Kabbalah, to Jewish mysticism,
Right.
which is why it's even funnier that they would consider themselves to be Nazis or like LARP as like National Socialists because Aleister Crowley's whole like mindset was in an offhand way influenced by Jewish magic, So I mean, obviously it's more deep than that. It's deeper than that, but I mean, you could do a TLDR and really just kind of like say that, and you wouldn't be wrong.
Right.
Um, but Thelema, it's an interesting philosophy. Basically, do what thou wilt. That is the law. Something, and he said, every man and every woman is a star. And yeah, a lot of what he said is misinterpreted. People think that he was kind of like this edgy, I'm gonna put like goat blood on myself and run around naked and sacrifice whatever to whoever. He wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really he was edgy and he did have like gay orgies and shit like that. He was an edge lord in a way, but when you actually do look at his writings they do have a certain kind of complexity and depth to them beyond just like the fucking weird sexual depravity. Because he was a weird sexual depraved like gooner at the end of the day. Um, but his whole mentality was, to basically the end goal of Thelema is and that's also where Current 93 comes from because they have like this whole thing like this whole numerology where I don't know their motto like did reduced into numerical form is 93 or something like that. But
Yeah.
the whole purpose of it is for every single person to fulfill the great work. The great work is like your magnum opus, like the reason why your soul incarnated on Earth. So you have to fulfill your soul purpose in order for I guess in order for your soul to evolve out of samsara or whatever bullshit.
Yeah. Which kind of makes sense if, uh, because I feel like I guess there are people walking this earth that don't feel that way. Like, I don't know if you're like this. You can feel like there's like an uh, do you ever feel like forget like goals like things like basic goals like I need to buy a house someday or oh I'm gonna make $1 million within 10 years or whatever the fuck like
Mm-hmm.
basic goals. uh Besides that, like I don't know if you ever feel this where like you have like you can feel like you're at a certain place at a certain time, and like you just feel internally you have like a overarching like an arc or like something to like achieve that's like or something you have to
Mhm.
go through in order to get through on the other side, break on
Yeah,
through to
well,
the other side, you know.
well, like
But
according,
there's a lot of people
yeah,
walking
of
the
course.
earth that probably don't feel that, but because I feel it
Mhm.
every day where I'm like I can feel it. It's not just like my basic goals, but it's also other things like I have to overcome this whatever thing. Like it's like I have weird things like get over like recently I was thinking like I have like detaching from uh just some like negative energy emotions, you know, like that just things that just like bother me or like spike my core spark spike my cortisol, you know. And I was like, it's just
Mhm.
things like that's one of my things where it's like I have to overcome. This is this thing where I have to overcome and detach, and then I can,
Mhm.
uh, I don't
You
know.
have like a more like a higher calm sort of thing.
Yes,
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
mean, I completely relate to you. I really do. I, I'm okay. I just found the quote from Aleister Crowley. Like his what embodies the dilemma is: "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will is a central maxim of Thelema, a philosophical spiritual system established by Aleister Crowley, 1904. It means individuals should discover and follow their true purpose, true will, rather than selfish whims, guided by love." Yeah, but anyways, so yeah, that quote is usually like chopped down to the just the "do what thou wilt"
mm-hmm.
part, and then people then make the conclusion, oh well, he was just an edgy Satanist that just believed in no morality. But you know, it's basically a misinterpretation of what he was trying to say. Anyways, I relate to you, Ash, 100%.
Yeah,
I actually have trouble with other people because they kind of have like you know, in the have you ever watched the movie They Live, where he puts on the glasses and
yes,
sees like the symbolism and shit? And you, know, you
right.
like put on the glasses like obey, you know, eat, sleep, reproduce. I don't really think about even like I don't even think about like having a wife too much. Like my mentality is like, oh well, if I get married someday, that's cool. But like I don't. It's not like my goal to have like two kids by the time I'm like 30 or something like that. You know, have a 401k and like retirement plan and like make at least $100,000 a year. I know that's
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of what like my peers think. Like, oh, I need to like secure a job opportunity that's going to give me at least 100,000 or 200,000 a year so I can support my family and I can do this and this and this. But like I can't even really relate. I've always been an outsider because I've always had like a mentality of like almost like spiritual mentality, or like I have to be on this earth to fulfill some kind of like almost like a divine purpose. Like I know that sounds like really grandiose, but that is genuinely my experience.
Yeah, no, I do, and even um like everything I do, even my like the either it's what we're doing right now, my projects, everything I do, uh, all my the relationships I have and stuff, everything I think it does have a divine purpose, and my I live through life the way I go about things and do things um, is not completely random, probably like a lot of people, but it's also I just kind of do. I just do things. I just follow my gut, my follow my intuition of when I take next step to do things and stuff. And um, yeah, but like the things that are mostly planned out in my life are like how I go about like my more like my goals or like my projects and stuff. The way I go about those is actually very. Hold on, can you hear me?
Yeah, a little better now.
Okay, it said on my thing it cut out it disconnected. But
Mhm.
yeah, do I sound fine?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay, but I have kind of like an internal like a system actually how I do things that it's kind of actually personal. Well, it's personal to me because it only makes sense to me. Um,
Of course. Hmm.
because we all have a certain things like, I mean, it's yeah, but you know,
Hmm.
I feel like I that's also why too like I don't really have. It's kind of funny. People think I'm saying this to be cocky, but I really like don't have because I say this. People are like, "What are your dreams? What are your aspirations?" The thing is, I don't really because I pretty much that's just all I do like 24. That's all I chase 24/7 is that. That's all I do. So if I have an idea of something I really want to do or like a dream, I just do it like every day and like just build to it, instead of just
Yeah.
one day I'll get to this. This is just a
Hmm.
pipe dream, pipe dream, but it is weird. A lot of people don't think like that. I
Hmm.
don't think, you know. Also, people aren't aware. A lot of people aren't aware of that. You can chase your dream now. I think that might be what
Yeah, they
divides
always put it
people
off.
from
It's
like
always like, oh,
unsuccessful to
I'm
success.
learning how to do it. Like,
Right. I think that's what divides people from unsuccessful to successful people. I think that's the divide because usually
mhm.
successful people are the people that chase that.
They're the
Like,
ones
look
that
at,
start as soon as they possibly can.
yeah. Because look at like people that start like a business. Like, they just do that every single day. And it's like they don't even know if it's going to work. It's just like, oh, I'm going to make a business selling these t shirts with this specific design. And they're like, and then they just
Well, I mean,
start.
look at what me and my good friend did. Have you seen like the Chud plush like thing that we started?
I think I have a while ago. I need to get a refresher, but
We made a bunch of money off of that, and like the thing is, bro, like it was a huge risk. Um, we genuinely did not think we were gonna make one sale, and we ended up making over 1,000 sales. So that was a huge risk, and actually, it was potentially put my friend in debt. But we
mm-hmm.
decided, fuck it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If it does work, we made it, or we have our foot up. But um, I mean, that's really what it takes. Like, really, what stops people is the fear of failure, the fear of failure, the fear of doing something true to yourself
Mm-hmm.
and something that really matters to you that maybe nobody else will understand, but it matters to you, and then failing and then potentially being humiliated by that. And that's why people just don't do anything. So there's like a fine line between over analyzing a situation to the point where you do nothing because you're so focused on measuring all the potential outcomes and like what could happen if you did this, what the better choice to make is. Oh, should I make this choice or that choice? And then they get so caught up in like trying to figure out what the right choice is that they just don't do anything
Mm-hmm.
versus being so spontaneous that you have no order or structure in your life. So you kind of have to have like a balance between those two, like kind of chaotic like
Right.
ways of being. I was also going to tell you, I think it's good that you know that you think differently. I think this is kind of like an intuitive type thing, with your like
Mm-hmm.
the personality thing that you used to do. I
Right.
think you might still do it, but
Yeah.
this is like an intuitive thing. Like, people that have like this type tend to be a little bit more like maybe eccentric, or they have like more of like the subjective factor of their personality is like maybe more advanced than other people's. But yeah, I mean, the majority of my agony in life, like early life, was me trying to fit in to other people's expectations of me and society's expectations of me, what my parents thought, what like not even really my parents, but like my family. And at one point I realized I'm genuinely not like these people. Like the meme of the fish jumping out of the fishbowl, and he was like, "I'm nothing like you niggas."
Mm-hmm.
Um, and sometimes you really need to do that. Like, you really need to just think like, okay, I think differently than other people, and I have a path that's unique to me that really only I can fulfill. You know?
Right. yeah, and um, yeah, it's just having it's just I think yeah, it's just having awareness and yeah, sensory people. Well, like they say, sensory people have more awareness of how things in the media, everything going on, more awareness of everything going on in the media world, and there is what do you call it, like value to that, or you know, um, but
Hmm.
also intuitive people have more awareness of well, more behind the scenes of things, and more, I guess you'd say,
Yeah,
the spiritual plane,
meta
really,
narrative,
but also
the pattern.
yeah, also the downfall of that is you might not just gloss over things that are happening in their immediate
Well, it's in the
in the
name, like
mediarity of
censor
life.
type people.
You know.
It's in the name too. Like censor type people, like you'll ask them what their goals are, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, like yeah, I want to like buy a nice house and like a Lamborghini." And it's like, so
Yeah.
basically, what you want to do with your life is just like consume product.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah." Like, yeah, yeah. Basically, what I want to do in my life is to consume product and dopamine max so hard that I go into like a altered state of consciousness because I'm dopamine. I'm like dopamine and serotonin maxing my fucking brain off. I'm being like a fucking hedonist. I want to
Yeah.
make a ton of money so I can be a hedonist in a mansion. And then you're like, oh, so basically all you care about is pleasure, and essentially it's like yes,
Yeah.
because it's in the name sensor. It's sensory. It's like your senses, what you can feel. So they prioritize. It's like taking things at face value. Like, oh, well, everybody else is doing this, and it's the practical thing to do. The authority systems are doing this. All my friends and family are doing this, so I should do it too because if I conform to the herd, then I'm probably going to get the biggest reward. I was also reading this thing about sensors. Not how an intuitive like a more schizo oriented person will look into knowledge that pretty much does not benefit them whatsoever. Like they'll look into like anthropology or some shit,
Right.
just to know,
Right.
just to like know something for knowledge's sake. But a sensor will do things basically like only if that thing will end up benefiting them somehow in the future. You
Right.
know,
And like I said,
it's like an opportunistic.
there is also value to that too, in a way, in a weird, because
There
it
is,
does
yeah. It's not
work.
really good. It's not really good to be too extreme on either side, to be honest.
No, because if you're extreme too, if you're just a schizo, fucking, like,
You're gonna end up like one of the guys on the side of the road talking about how like there's fucking reptilians walking around or something.
right. But uh, sensors, they, I've noticed this, which is kind of interesting. Is that of course there's a variety of different types of sensors, obviously, because there's a variety of personality types that are sensors that are very different from one another. But what I've noticed is that uh, sensor. What I've noticed is that a lot of sensor types, people I assume are sensors, like normie kind of type people, like you're talking about like the social status thing, how like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing because everybody
Yeah.
else is doing it. As I've what I've noticed is there's a lot of groups, you know, this, and like if you in colleges, you just notice out in the real world in general, like you'll see groups of them, and they have this almost like insular.
Yeah, they
It's
have like
almost
a
like
group
weirdly like an
leader.
insular group, but it's away even from the other sensors. They're like an insular group that think they're elite. Like you almost could tell like they have this weird elitism to them, where uh, they
Yeah, they have like
achieve
the
some type of social status and they push everyone else out, and they yeah, they have like it's like 20-year-old, like there's like 20-year-old college students like this, like where then when you see them out in the real world and stuff like where I guess they might come from money, or they've achieved, one of them has achieved certain type of status, like got a lot of money in a short period from this job or whatever, and they only date the same type of girls. The girls date the same type of guys, but they're in this like weird insular thing, and it's weird too because I've dealt with this in work and stuff where you talk to them, and especially work type environment, you have to be nice to customers and people like that, and so you're doing that. You present as normal, nice, normal, but they don't want to talk to you because they want to look at you as you're below them because you don't look like them on a face value, and you're not in part of that group, that insular group, which is funny because, and they have actually no like influence really in the real world. They're not famous. They don't have political influence. They have nothing. They don't have money
But
influence
in
in
their
the world.
minds, they're
But
in
they're
their
in this
minds
weird
they're the fucking
insular
main
group that think
character.
they're elite and everybody else is like below them. But they're not.
Yeah,
It's this weird thing that I've noticed. I've noticed this for a long time, and yeah, it's kind of
dude. As a
interesting.
musician, as a musician, it exists within the musical world too. This
Oh,
like archetype that
dude.
you're talking about,
Oh,
like
dude. The art
people
world.
that,
Every scene is art scenes like this, dude.
dude, they're all like that, bro. And it's with politics too. Like, and you know what it is? This all boils down to performativism, and
Yes.
it's just like a certain type of censor personality. I don't know what it would be, like ESP. I don't know, some shit like that.
It'd probably be like
Like
like ESFJ, ESTJ, probably.
some shit like
ESFPs and
that. Yeah,
ESTPs are a little more like rebellious or self individual. They're more
yeah. Hmm.
individualized, sort of, kind of. But go on.
But yeah, exactly. What it all boils down to is performativism. Like as a musician, what I've noticed is there will be like these groups of people, and they want to be that guy so bad, you know, and they masquerade as that guy.
Mm-hmm.
They wear all the right clothes that, TikToks, said they should fucking wear. And they cover like whatever Deftones song or whatever, surf curse, or Creep by Radiohead or whatever bullshit. Or
Right.
they'll get into Jeff Buckley or something like that. But they don't actually create anything. Like they're not musicians. They're not expressing themselves from a genuine place. They're not genuinely expressing emotions or vulnerability or anything. They're not writing their lyrics.
No.
They're
Dude.
just like 100%,
That's how the
100%.
music scene's like
Um,
here. It's fucking
yeah, it's
garbage.
100% a show. It's like a
And they don't want
vanity
to talk to you.
contest.
They don't want to talk to you
They don't want to
because
talk
you're
to you because
below.
you're a loser. You're not cool like them. You don't have the same amount of clout that they have, like a esoteric clout. And that's exactly why I don't like the Neofolk. I mean, I love like a lot of like the original Neofolk thing, but yeah, unfortunately, a lot of Neofolk people have become LARPers. Like
Yeah.
The LARP has no end. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's so bad. And it's the same with literature too. Like, oh, I read fucking Franz Kafka and I read Dostoevsky, and I'm like so woke, and I read feminist literature too, and like, oh my god, I'm so woke and cool. Like, you know, and half of these people, like you said, they do have daddy's money, you know,
Yeah.
and and it's like this weird thing where they like almost like they have like this weird thing about black people too, or like oppressed people, or like people that struggle, like that archetype of like white, like rich white guy from the suburbs who like pretends to be black for like no reason, like not pretends to be black but pretends to be like a thug, like a guy from like an inner city neighborhood like named Daquan or something, like a wigger basically,
Yeah.
and for no reason. Like I'm gonna start selling weed to my classmates and listening to gangster rap, and it's kind of like that thing. It just doesn't make any sense. Like what I'm trying to say is these people will pretend to, you know, have some kind of struggle in life. Or you see a lot too with like, oh, I'm like part Cherokee or something. Like, bro, please stop.
Yeah, part
I'm part
Cherokee.
Cherokee, bro.
You know what the you know
I'm
what
like
the
an
also
Apache
another thing is
warrior.
the Viking larpers. I'm Viking.
I'm a
That's my
Wiccan Viking, bro.
they're like Irish. They're like I'm Viking. It's like, okay,
Bro, you come from a potato farmer family, bro.
dude.
Sorry. I'm
I'm Viking. Yeah.
Viking, bro. We was Vikings and shit.
I've said we was Vikings. Yeah, and then they get like the tattoos of like the fucking rune stones or whatever the fuck symbol.
That shit's so cringy. Dude, I love hating with you, bro. I love being a hater with you, bro. Yeah, you know the thing is, bro, I actually really I have a strong distaste for those like arrogant Europeans who are like, oh, Americans have no culture, or whatever. I don't like
So
Europeans like that because I think
what
America
like
does have a
Varg?
culture, but yeah, like Varg. But you know, the vast majority of American, like specifically white people in America, they're like so unhappy with being white Americans. They're like, actually, I'm Italian. And it's like, okay, I mean, maybe yeah, you're Italian, but like you're also just like an American, bro. Like I'm Irish, you know. It's like, I mean, it's cool to be proud of your ancestry, but it's like also like America has a culture too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost like there's this like distaste for being American that people have.
So my full our Varg is like my full biz, my full biz. Yeah. So
Varge is so autistic, man. I think he
have you
also
heard that
says that he's
video?
autistic.
There's a because you know he's back making videos with like his kids and stuff
Hmm.
because his kids are like teenagers now,
Oh
well, as
yeah.
old as kids, and he's all like, there's a video where he's like, "What's the point? The DNA tests are pointless. If you look at yourself in the mirror, do you have blue eyes, blonde hair, white skin? Then you're white. If you're not, then you're not white." That's what he said. I'm not making this up.
Wait till he sees that. What? Wait till he sees an albino person, bro.
I remember somebody showed a picture. It was like these twins from race mixed parents or whatever, and the one was like darker than the other, even though they're both twins, but they're clearly related. But the other one was like more blacker than the other, and
Hmm.
he's all like, no, that girl is still black because she is black. The other is not.
Dude, Varge is so autistic. Like he does not consider like half of Europe white. Like basically all of Yugoslavia, Spain,
He's like
Italy.
Fuentes. Fuentes is like that.
He's like only England, Germany, France, and like Sweden, Finland are like white. Like everybody else is fucking. I'm not gonna say it. It almost slipped out.
But Fuentes said that Albanians, or the ASU leader said he isn't white because he's Albanian.
I think I think it was Donald Trump. Yeah, recently Armenians got their white card revoked. They're not white anymore.
What?
Yeah, Armenians got their white card revoked, I'm pretty sure.
What, like Trump signed a thing said they're not white?
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. I guess their white card is a real thing. Like I guess certain people like they can get their white card revoked and like the census doesn't consider you white anymore. Crazy.
Is
Kind
that
of
fact
funny. You could make
checked?
like a skit about that. Can you? I mean, maybe I can.
Is that fact checked?
Uh,
Source?
Source. Well, I'll look it up right now. Did Armenians? No, wait. How do I
There's
phrase
a
this
peace
question?
agreement he signed not too long
Have
ago.
Armenians uh been? Oh my God. Why am
Did
I
you
not?
see?
Can I know how to? Did Armenians recently
System of a Down.
Lose their white card. Lose their white card.
System of a Down should make a song about
White
it.
card revolt. Based on recent. Okay. So it was a fake news, I guess. Okay, whatever,
Fake
bro.
news. We need to
That
put a
would've been
thing in our
funny, though.
video at the bottom that says this part when Gabe said this is actually fake. Here's the source, like the YouTube generated.
It would have been so funny if that was true, though.
I love when YouTube has like the flat Earth and stuff, like notice, community notes or whatever.
Oh yeah. Remember when fact check was like a really big deal back in
This
the day?
video
Like,
will probably
during
be
COVID?
fact. It will probably have a community note. I bet. Since we're talking like
It's kind of crazy how, bro. It's kind of crazy how we went from like in 2020, 2021. Like if you posted a video with this swastika symbol in it, you'd get like a flag and like a fact check and like fucking like probably your account banned.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it wasn't like Nazi, even if it was like some Buddhist temple or something. But like nowadays you can like openly speak about whatever and like nothing will happen probably. Or like very little will happen.
And
it's kind of
people
weird.
still talk about cancel culture. Cancel culture. Well, you know, it's that comedian.
Cancel culture was a problem. It was a problem at one point, but it's not really a reality
What's that
anymore.
comedian, the British guy, Jimmy Carr? He's still
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about cancel culture, and he always wears the headset mic, and he's like, cancel culture is really bad.
What if I catch me being a pedophile? Sorry.
But Joe Rogan and his friends are still talking about, I'm getting canceled. I can't do a show because I'm getting canceled. Because
Did you see how Joe Rogan like shut down Theo Von like so hard when Theo Von was like
you can't talk about that. You can't talk about that, man.
Actually,
Man,
I think you should take your
need to chill out, man.
I think you should. I mean, you need to get back on meds, bro. He dead ass said that. He was.
It
like,
kind of makes sense now because like 2 days later he like went on that thing with Trump. Did you see that? Like legalizing psychedelic medicine or whatever.
Oh, Joe Rogan and Trump made a fucking psychedelic. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
maybe it's just gonna be like another MK.
RFK was there.
Maybe it'll be like another.
Yeah, it's MK Ultra pretty much. Isn't that what MK Ultra?
We're gonna start it again, bro. It's gonna be like a legal thing now.
What do you think?
Oh, we're doing
MK Ultra.
I think it was real. What do you mean by works exactly?
Like, do you think you can actually mind control people with psychedelics?
I mean, I think it's possible.
Especially back then, they were just using like LSD. That probably wasn't even that strong.
I mean, I think it's possible. It really depends on the person that you're trying to brainwash.
They already have to be schizo, kind of. I think.
Yeah. I think like.
But the problem is, there's people I've argued with people with this. People get really mad at me when I say this. I say that you can't, and they get really mad. But like, there's people that I've asked them to like, have you done psychedelics? They go no. I'm like, okay, well then you don't know how the fuck it works. Like, you can't just out the snap of a finger, let's say, give someone some shrooms or a hit of LSD and just go and like snap like. The snap of the finger, like just mind control them like a zombie.
No, that's not how. I mean, I've done psychedelics before too, and it's like I mean, you can have a bad trip. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think what you could potentially do.
Well, the bad trip too is it's really hard. You're almost more unlikely to get
because you're questioning everything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're more. Well, yeah, because you're going to be more avoidant,
The only thing I could potentially see is like somebody who's really susceptible to propaganda or something like that, getting like a really high dose of like LSD or something, being in like a really kind of like fucked up state, and then like somebody like making suggestions, like exacerbating their paranoid symptoms and like maybe somehow like implanting memories in them or something. Because it has been found that
Right.
like people can have false memories implanted into their brains, like through suggestion and shit like that, and
Yeah.
hypnosis. So you could potentially create like a narrative in somebody's head, like through like hypnosis and psychedelics, where you like gaslight somebody into believing, especially maybe if that person's already delusional, like if that person's already like schizo, you could like gaslight that person into believing something like,
Mm.
this person over here, yeah, that's the Antichrist, and this person ruined your life. You need to kill them now. Maybe you could do some shit like that to them.
Right. Yes.
But it would be really hard. I think they did find like some conclusive evidence that it works, but usually what it would end up doing, what it would end up doing is just traumatizing people
Yeah. Well, I've
and
heard,
making them
I've
go.
heard, I've heard that they um like they couldn't they had a hard time also like telling people to do things like because it's what happens what if you get a group like I actually heard this from John Kuroki Kuro,
Oh, curiosity.
yeah, he's telling a story from some other CIA guy that told him or whatever that back then that did that stuff, and he was saying that they would do things like where they even tried doing things like what they said with like how what people think what happened with the Manson family, like family were like, I can just get a group of people and try to see if
Mm-hmm.
they can do stuff or whatever, and then they found out that like you couldn't even do like simple things like follow through. They would just just
Well, Hollywood, not yeah, Hollywood, and also just like a lot of media has kind of like, I wouldn't, romanticize isn't the right word, but it maybe glamorize has like a positive connotation too. They've made MK Ultra into a spectacle, or like a more magical, or like crazy spectacle than it probably was.
mm-hmm.
You know, like, oh, they were
Right.
literally making people turn into zombies and create mass shootings. Like, I don't think it was that obvious.
No.
Um, but sociology is interesting. Um, I actually got really disturbed through like just like studying various like experiments that were done on people. Like there was this experiment called the Little Albert experiment, where they would basically take like a baby, and the baby would like different animals would walk up to the baby. The baby was happy, but every time they would drop a white rabbit into where the baby was sitting, a guy would like hit a bell, like not a bell, like a pipe, really loud to the point where it like hurt the baby's ears.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know what? Lo and behold, the baby developed a lifelong fear of rabbits. So that's a real study. That's a real thing, by the way. And then there was another one, Ash conformity test. You know, there was this one where like they took like they took a test group of people, I don't know, like 50 people, 100 people, and then like they measured to see, it would be like two people, right? And there was like an electric shock,
Mm-hmm.
and um they found out that like 80% of people would conform, and this is unironic, like 80% of people would conform to being told to shock somebody else by an authority figure. And yeah, no, it's kind of weird to think about, like, when these sociological tests that have been done. There's like one called Ash conformity test, and Milgram's conformity test. They found like, yeah, pretty much like 80%, like 70 or 80% of people are going to like pretty much be obedient to like like what the majority of people think, or an authority thinks or wants them to do. So
That kind of sounds like a similar event.
Stanford prison experiment.
No, it sounds like a similar event many years ago. That was a popular big thing.
Hmm. Oh, COVID.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. Well, I think potentially maybe like I don't know if they engineered it specifically to test people, but maybe it was like an unintended like benefit for them to see like, oh yeah, no, it's true. Like 80% of people do conform. Like, okay, we were right, sort of thing. But I don't know.
Hmm.
Um, it
That's
is
weird.
interesting. I
That
did
actually
get
got me. That
I
actually
got
gets me thinking.
I got blackpilled from studying sociology, to be honest. Like that shit really kind of
That
shook
is
me
kind
up.
of a weird. That is a black feeling and a thought I just had just now. But then we told me the shock thing.
Yeah, let me look it up.
Because
It's
my
actually
thought, I mean, I don't know because I wasn't there participating in the experiment. But if somebody told me, I'd be like, "What? Excuse me?" You know?
mhm,
Yeah. But there's people just like, "Okay,
conformity. Okay, I'm gonna find the exact
crazy."
test.
That's crazy. So they're
Okay,
just like,
participants
"Okay,
were
I'll shock them." Okay.
okay. It's yeah, that's the Milgram experiment.
What
Participants were led to believe that they were assisting in a fictitious experiment, in which they had to administer electric shocks to a learner. These fake electric
Oh, I know
shocks
this one.
gradually, yeah,
Yeah,
Milgram,
I've seen videos of
Milgram
that a long time
experiment.
ago.
And then there's the look up Ash conformity test.
Okay. Oh, here's
Orange.
It's incorrect.
The Ash conformity experiments conducted by Solomon Ash in the 50s revealed that individuals often change their responses to match a group's consensus, even when that consensus is obviously wrong.
That makes sense.
A single real subject was placed in
I'm
a
pretty
room
sure
with
I've
six
done
to
that
eight.
before.
It
I have to
works.
admit.
If the majority of people believe something and you know that it's not right, you're gonna outsource your opinion to the herd because you know you want to be safe, basically.
Yeah.
But when you know about these things about sociology, like, oh, people are going to conform, most or the majority of people are going to automatically conform to authority or mass opinion. You start to realize like the the propaganda that if the elites really do hit us with that propaganda, daily, they don't really have to do much legwork, you know,
No. No,
because the
not at
majority of
all.
people already want to believe in something so bad that if you tell them to believe in something, they're going to be like, oh yes, you know.
Yeah. Shall we bring up 1984? No, I'm just kidding. You know how guys are really into like 1980, bringing up 1984
Oh yeah.
and like Animal
George
Farm. This is
Orwell.
like Animal Farm.
Dude, this is literally like Aldous Huxley's book,
Yeah, that's
um,
Huxley's Brave
Brave
New
New
World.
World and shit.
Yeah.
Brave New World and shit. No, it's true though. It actually
Yeah.
is kind of true.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that that actually does go back to like that whole like those insular performative people. Because those are kind of like the books that I've seen them read sometimes too. But you
Hmm.
know what? It's funny with them because they'll read like spiritual books or books about the government or conspiracies or whatever, but it doesn't really look like they're integrating any of that knowledge. Like it looks like they're just reading it just to look like they're reading it,
Right.
which in a kind of funny way proves the fact that they are kind of like those like goyim ass motherfuckers. Like they're really on that like they're really on that shit. Like, okay, oh yeah, man. Like I've read 1984, and let me just say this: deep.
It's like that guy. It's like that guy that I've showed on this show before. The red pilled goth. YouTuber guy that's anti-woke, and he made a vlog where he's on an airplane and he filmed himself holding it was like a 2019 edition of 1984, and he was holding it while showing off his sleeve tattoo.
Bro, the LARP never ends. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Two birds of the same wing, or was it? Yeah, two wings, the same bird.
God, that's too much. Jesus. Yeah, no, it's a phenomenon, man. It really is. And in a certain way, I remember when I was, because I was trying to like, when I was really ambitious, I still am ambitious with my music, but when I really wanted to like make it a reality and it was like forcing it, I was like kind of like approaching random ass people that played instruments
Mm-hmm.
to try to like recruit them into my vision or something like that.
Right.
And I would actually get mad. I'd be like, how are these people so dense and performative? Like, do these motherfuckers even have like a soul at this point? So I kind of had like that chud rage for a minute, but at a certain point, you just kind of have to. Yeah, chud rage. That was me. I was the doorbell chud rage guy. Um, I think that's most of us sometimes. At a certain point, you just have to realize like they're actually retarded, and like I don't even envy them. So whatever.
Oh, do you get people too that are uh, like I'm a singer, and you're like, okay, they're like I'm a singer and I'm interested in recording music, and then when the day comes, they're like, actually, you know, there's a lot of people like that.
Actually,
They
I
like
think
the
I'm just supposed
idea.
to
They like the
fucking
idea
weed.
that, um, you know, they're an
That's what I'm saying. That
artiste.
we're fascinated with the image of what a certain like thing represents. The clout, like the clout associated with embodying this thing. Like,
I have a
ooh,
song
rock
about this
star.
that's gonna. It's uploading right now on Spotify. I actually have a song I made that's about all of the stuff we're talking about.
Yeah, send it to me when it uploads.
Yeah, but the lyrics, it's about these people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
So, oh yeah, rock star, that equals women are obsessed with me, and I get lots of money, and everybody likes me. Haha. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to LARP as that now.
yeah, and I have this in my. I have this one lyric in my song, uh, which is funny because I just thought about it today. Because so the lyric is it's something like you're it's like you're so indie but you're high status, as in you know, it's these people that can't decide too. This is another thing too, where they're like I'm an underground artist, I'm underground, but then they want to be like, or they think in their head that they're like really famous, or they want like a high status, but then when they get that attention, they're like, no, 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 you don't get. I'm underground. I'm a real under, you know. And so these people, like, can't
Yeah, they
decide which
they
one they want to
equate they
be.
equate they
You know.
equate being underground with somehow being like the cool kids or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's like the second, yeah, and you see this a lot. Like there'll be like a fan of like some person on Spotify with like fucking, 1,000 views, not even like 500 views a month or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the second they get even a slight amount of like clout, it's like, oh man, they sold out, bro. Yeah, it's so gay. It's
Yeah.
a weird thing. It's a weird like gatekeeping mentality. And you know what? The sad truth is, the people that gatekeep and they try to like really make it their personality, and yeah, they're like indie but like high status at the same time somehow. They don't actually do anything. Like those are the people that really never create anything. Like that movie Mozart, where it's like Mozart and Salieri.
Oh, Amadeus.
Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies.
They're not even like Salieri. They're like, because at the end of the day, Salieri actually did something. They're like
Right.
they're like completely LARPing as something while simultaneously being like basically nothing.
Right.
So, and that's like an infectious part of culture. It really calls back to like this thing that I came up with. Um, so my opinion on the like zeitgeist or like the spirit of this age is that we've entered an age of obviously hyper consumerism where people are more considered with triviality, superficiality, like the appearances of things, what the archetype of like what Carl Jung said, the persona, like masks that people wear.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 80s, 70s, 60s, and even 90s, early 2000s, even, people weren't bored. And people were bored. They didn't have like media shoved in their face nonstop. Um, Having like a taste wasn't like as big of a deal as it is now. Like people just automatically had taste back then. They didn't really need to talk about it.
Right.
But now it's like, bro, I have taste, bro. I have taste, bro. My taste is so cool. My taste is better than your taste, bro. But they don't actually do anything with their taste. They just have it. They just have taste. Like, okay. And but yeah, back then, before the internet, people had more time. The economy was easier. People had better finances, so people could sit around and make music. And there wasn't as much media to consume, so you had more time to create. Now, everybody's hypnotized with consuming media and
Right. And
having
also too,
opinions,
which I also
but
talk
not
about,
doing anything.
which I also talk about in my new song, how people uh, uh, don't um, yeah, they're too consumed with media, but they also don't. Just in general, like there isn't really like there aren't really like people that are trying to be pioneers or whatever anymore. You know, even millennials back then were like they'd take crazy risks, like make Facebook or something like that. We don't even have that anymore, really. You know that those
Yeah,
type of
we don't
people.
even have people trying to make like a crazy company or yeah, like you said.
Yeah, it's and people are too above. Like they're too. It's this thing where it's too cool to do anything. It's this thing where it bothers me. Where and there's people I know that's what they laugh. They're like they think it's funny and kind of cool that they like rot in their bedroom all day. They rot in my bedroom. You know, like a
It's like,
neat, like it's
oh
almost
man,
cool,
like
like a
I'm
flex.
so nonchalant. Like I just couldn't be bothered, bro. I'm so
Yeah,
cool.
I don't need. Yeah, and
Yeah, it's like the obsession with nonchalance. Like they actually enjoy not wanting to do anything or something. I don't even know how to explain it.
mm-hmm.
It's really gay. Excuse me. Just true.
Yeah, the song I'm coming out with is called which I'm gonna make a music video for, and I'm not gonna say anything about that because it's actually I'm gonna flex right now. It's a very genius idea.
I'm just sleeping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Oh, what were you saying?
But anyways, but the song
Mm-hmm.
is called Lame Generation. It's very inspired by 80s like, you know, post-punk type
Mm-hmm.
music, like very like, you know, very punky sounding, but that I did with Tyler Graham Smith. Song I made
Oh
with
yeah.
him. But he the song, yeah, it's called Lame Generation, and because I thought it would be a funny. I thought it was a funny, kind of interesting idea because you know there's like my generation and you know all the you know that are about like the generation and how the older people don't understand us and things like that. You
Wait,
know.
screen share?
Yeah.
This like what the fuck am I looking? Can you see this? Like what am I looking at right now, bro?
Hold on a sec. I'm gonna show it on my screen. Uh, Signs he ran through. Metal furniture. Leaves his Heidi Slimane pants. Archive jeans more than he loves you. Goodreads, Letterbox. All his friends dress exactly the same. Fancy candles, something so beautiful and finite. This guy doesn't exist, by the way.
Well, like what? You know what I mean? Like this is the type of shit.
POV, you walked in an overpriced rooftop. Is that just were they just showing me in that one?
Dudes who live in Williamsburg during the week. Dudes who live in
This
Williamsburg
is a
during
psyop account, by the way. I can just
like
tell.
what even is?
This is
But
psyop,
people,
dude. This is total
but
psyop account. Goyslav
but but
psyop. Like
but
this is going through the
but people
motions of these
believe
type
in
of
this. Like
memes.
people actually like it.
This is like BuzzFeed, dude. 2015 BuzzFeed right here. What is this shit? There's a psyop account. I'm not gonna say who, but there's an account on Instagram that I believe is a psyop. That's
You can tell me in
related to
private if you want.
Oregon. Wink, wink.
Mm.
I'm not gonna say.
What the fuck am I
I'm not gonna
looking like?
say what account.
These are the type people. These are the type of people who
reminds me of
enjoy
this.
these posts.
That it's an
Are
account
the
that
like
reminds
these
me
are
of
the
this
type
account.
of people. What the fuck? Yeah. Oh my god, brother.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
like
it's
these
just
like IG accounts now that are like I think like that are like this that are about Oregon, and it's like kind of making fun of Oregon. I think they're like psyop accounts that just popped out of nowhere, people's algorithms, and they're all like that. They're like, haha. It's like it'll be like something like uh, fucking I don't know like what's a town? Bend, Oregon. Uh,
it's just like
Bend, Oregon in the summer be like, and then it shows like a fucking uh like a guy in Saudi Arabia riding a camel or some shit. I don't know. And it's like these are like
dude,
psyop
you know
accounts, dude. It's
it
a total
really is this
psyop
like
account.
obsession. It's just like an obsession with identity. Like, oh, I have to have the like coolest identity. I have to like it's just like so pretentious to
Yeah,
me,
we're
bro.
exposing the following list. What the fuck, Times Square? Yeah, dude. Oh yeah,
Times
because
Square.
reading their gay
Of course,
poetry.
Times
Yeah.
Square, bro. Of course. This is like the heartland of this bullshit.
Reading their gay poetry. Fucking.
Let me see. Let me
And
see.
their poet. It's like
Because
a
you know
poem.
these
Times Square, like what the? It's like a what the fuck Times Square? It's just poems of talking about fucking. I don't know, a poem about Roman Polanski or something. That's a limerick.
mhm.
I don't know. That's not even that creative. It's more like fucking garbage. But
Yeah.
well, it's this thing too
Yeah.
where it's like I because I've been guilty of this in my past is when you're like not trying hard, but you're like trying hard being edgy or like this type of stuff, you know. And I just don't. I a long time ago I made a decision not to be that type of person anymore. You know, I had to end it.
Yeah. I don't, yeah. It's hard for
I'm
my
kind of
brain to
interested in
even register.
making uh, good pieces of art. That's what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
That'll stand the test of time. Even though I
Right.
don't think my last two albums are like that, but me in
Mhm.
the past 2 years, yes.
You know, Ash. You meet people in life that genuinely like you genuinely have like your own specific individual type of I don't know like energy, personality, style, stuff like that. Tyler does too.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren does too. I believe I do as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because these people, you, me, people in this circle, you know, we're like genuinely we have developed our own personalities and like what we personally believe in. It's like the like Jung said, like the process of individualization,
Mm-hmm.
individuation. So we don't really need to like necessarily fit into like a pre-packaged aesthetic.
Well,
You
also,
know,
you know
that
what's a red flag?
that's like the.
A
Hmm.
red flag in all these scenes. I just thought about this a couple of days ago. in a scene,
It's a
you
prepackaged
should
aesthetic.
never, if a person tries to befriend everybody, or talks about how I'm in the scene, and they try to befriend everybody in that scene, that's a fucking red flag, because who the fuck gets along with everybody in a scene or wants to be friends with everybody that just so happens to be in a scene? It's like, for example, it's like, yo, you're in the hardcore scene too. Well, I'm friends with you. You're an ally, or like, and like that's a red flag. Like, you should almost by default, even if you are part of a community, you should by default have like a sense of individualism where you're like, actually, I liked this guy's album, but I didn't really like this guy's album that much. That, or you should have that somewhat. You should have some type
That's
of.
what I'm saying. This goes back to Ash conformity test, where it's like you outsource your individual opinion to the majority.
Mm,
It's the same thing with like the clothing too, the style. Like these are pre-packaged aesthetics that were already created by, I don't know, fucking the CIA or something, and now you don't really believe in this necessarily. Like maybe there's aspects to of it that you identify with it, but you're basically LARPing because I'm a religious. I believe in God and everything like that. But let's be real with ourselves right now. A lot of the reason why people go to church is for the community. You know what I mean? So if that works for church, like imagine what it would be like for something godless. You
right.
know, like
Well, I just did this as a long time ago. I did this as a test, and it actually worked on people. Still, to this day, people believe this. And um, where a long time ago I made a joke. I put this in the ether as a joke. Is that I said um, that I was a part of the Dime Square scene, like a figure, and like I put that as a joke in the ether, like a fucking joke. I don't even live in New York, and I did it as a joke, like, and it actually worked. The psyop worked. There's people to this day that actually literally think I live in New York and hang out with fucking Dosh or Peter. There's people that believe that because I as a joke, I did it a long time ago as a fucking joke, like because I talked to a few people that live there, or part of the whatever scene, a long time ago, and then I just started like just throwing it out there as a joke, and then people now actually like believe it to this day
dude,
because people are
I'm
easily
walking on
psyoped like
eggshells.
that.
I'm walking on eggshells right now because we both know people from that scene
Oh yeah,
and they're mutual fun.
yeah,
But like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, like I've had secondhand cringe. I know I sound like a hater so much right now, but I really have had secondhand cringe from like observing the type of like tomfoolery they get up to, bro. Like there's like spoken word poetry where it's like
right,
and when I heard the word poetry, I was like, wow, this is gonna be like, really profound. And it's like a bunch of people like talking about like their drug use or like how they have like an OnlyFans account or like how like
mm,
poetry about Hinge or like dating apps. Like, what the fuck are you talking about right now, bro? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like saying the word art, but doing like the least artistic thing possible. Like like I cannot recall a time I was less emotionally moved by something in my life. But like it's okay because you say you're an artist and you staple the word art over your chest. You know what I mean? So I guess you're an artist now.
right. No, there's I know people, good people that or
Yeah, I'm a hater.
artistes. I know good people that are artists in New York and stuff like that. I know people, but uh yeah, it's
I mean, obviously not all of them, but
right.
it is something that happens.
But
That's for
there's what
real.
it's what I'm getting at earlier. There's people that um insert themselves that in that like I was saying earlier where they want to be in that scene so bad and like don't really create anything or don't really make anything. And it's funny too because like people like I don't really want to. I never. I didn't think we were going to talk about this because I kind of almost made a vow I would never really even talk about this stuff anymore. Uh,
Times Square.
but but even like people like like the Anna and Dasha and stuff like they're have that label on them, but even they say and have said they're like they don't really view themselves as like they're it's the classic example we're talking about earlier. It's music where if you're part of a scene, you just make music in this area or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're slapped with the label. Like the Seattle bands grunge, you're just slapped with the label. You're just kind of now stuck. There's people like that just make stuff or just exist over there. That just there's a lot of people I know that are like that. Where
They're not related. They're not related to the Dime Square scene at all. But since they live there and they make music there,
they're part of that. Yeah, or they know somebody, so now they're slapped with it. It's kind of a thing.
Yeah, guilty by association type of thing.
Yeah, but there's people out there that want to be so bad. It's just crazy to me. Just any scene. I know a lot of scenes like this. I remember back then with the SoundCloud rapper scene was like this, like on Facebook. Dude, that was really bad. That was worse.
Dude, oh my god,
actually. That was worse than this.
Juice WRLD and all that shit. Yeah, that was very pretentious.
That was worse than any scene I know. That was like the worst scene. And there's always drama with like they would have like an OnlyFans girlfriend. There's like drama and like
some dumbass like mumble rapper, SoundCloud trap rapper, dude. like a dyed-haired girlfriend with like an OnlyFans and like I know. Yeah, somebody had an overdose and blah blah blah. Somebody cheated, or somebody got shot up, or some bullshit like that, dude. But it's kind of like the same thing, like the girls who, or even the guys too, because there are guys who do this too, but they'll dress goth, and then you'll ask them like, oh yeah, so like who do you listen, like what goth band do you listen to, and they'll be like, I don't know, like Mac DeMarco or some shit. Like they'll give you like some kind of like, where they won't even listen to anything that indie. Like they'll you know what I mean? Like they don't actually. They don't actually listen to anything. Like they don't really give a fuck about the culture. All like they just use it for sex appeal.
Right.
It's kind of like that. People do that a lot with like fashion and culture. But you know what? I guess at a certain level, you kind of just have to like respect it and just let them do what they want to do, because like ultimately, fuck. I mean, what are you gonna do? Be a chud about it? Yeah. I mean, what am I gonna do? Be a chud about it and be like, oh well, that's cringe. But at the same time, like, hey, it literally quite is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you think about Tame Impala? Then that song.
The less I know, the better.
Is that what it's called? I thought there's this one that's like, it's like Pablo Escobar. The fuck is that song?
I haven't heard that song, bro.
It's like the dumbest lyrics I've ever heard in my entire Dracula. The song's called Dracula.
I have never heard that song once in my life. I mean.
I'm gonna make like a song or like an album that's like called God, what should it be called? I was thinking of like a spooky name. Not Frankenstein, because that's boring. Hunchback. I don't know. Not Hunchback. There's Dracula, Igor. I get people like naming their project spooky names. Old Hollywood names now. It's like, we're bringing back the old spooky horror aesthetics, I guess. Dracula, yeah. It's like that's a good idea. Pablo Escobar. And Bryan Cranston filmed himself lip syncing it. It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, and everybody on the gram was like, "Oh my god, yo, he is my this video is my Roman Empire." You know, people say
Dude,
that.
that's such a funny
This
feeling
is
when
my
everybody,
Roman
yeah,
Empire.
when everybody likes some shit that like you're just completely like think is the worst thing. Yeah,
Right.
worst thing
Well, it's
ever.
like the same. I feel like the song is like for people that, you know, Tam and Paul used to be like stoner, like, whoa, man, we wear mismatched, you know, 70s type. We wear thrift store mismatched, colorful thrift store clothes and smoke weed and make psychedelic music. Man, now they're making music for the what's that? Benson Boone crowd.
Oh, Benson Boone, yeah.
Yeah, it's for like white
Boone
girls that.
be my dream. Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm on the verge of caving in. I run back to the dark. Now I'm Mr. Charisma, fucking Pablo Escobar. My friends are saying, "Shut up, Kevin. Just get in the car. I just want to be right where you are." Oh, my love. Yo.
How do people listen to that shit, bro? This is something that I struggle
It's
with,
music for
bro.
guys.
And
It's music for guys. It's for music for like guys in the indie scene
performing,
that
yeah,
SA teen girls.
yeah, the you know the meme of like the wolf in sheep's clothing. It's like
Yeah.
it's like literally the wolf in sheep's clothing. Like they'll be reading like feminist literature, and then they go to like a house party and like date rape a girl.
Yeah.
Hashtag me too. They'll like repost
But what
hashtag
makes
me
it
too
worse
or
was
some
not
shit
what I
right now.
read; it's how he sings it. Because people say he sounds like Stewie Griffin. It sounds like Stewie Griffin singing. He's like, "I'm on the verge of caving in, and now I'm with the quiz with Pablo Escobar or whatever." I can't do a Stewie. I'm not gonna do a Stewie impression ever. Definitely not in public. I'm never ever gonna do a Stewie Griffin impression because I like myself too much. I have
Don't
self
let
respect.
don't let
Have you
yourself
seen those
get there.
videos of the guys that do like their like Stewie impressions? Remember in like in did you ever have this in high school and everybody tried doing a Herbert the pervert impression?
Oh yeah. hmm I remember sometimes they try to touch you.
Uh, it was like the guys. Remember the guys in like that would whenever you'd walk into like a high school like a PE locker room, there'd always be that one guy that'd always be screaming for no reason.
Always like throw a fucking wet towel at your face or some shit.
He'd be like, ah, and it'd always be the two same guys that would, because nobody would use the showers, but it would be like the two same guys
Mhm.
that would, and they would always strip like fully naked, but nobody else would even bother using the showers.
Those are the times. hmm
And they would always yell stuff
I
too.
wonder
They're
what
like, "Help! I'm
happened.
being raped," or some shit. I
Yeah.
don't miss high school, by the way. That's giving me some
I wonder
PTSD
where all those
flashbacks.
people are now.
Um,
Crazy to think about.
Probably working like a car dealership,
Some shit like that.
making a lot of
Yeah, that
money.
tends to
Actually,
be
that's
what
the
happens.
irony is they're probably making more money than us. The
hmm
grand irony of it all.
That is the irony of it. What do you think about like the archetype of people who peaked in high school?
Yeah, I'm
Do you
one
think
of
the
those
peaked in
people.
high school people ever end up being like, because I feel like that's like a natural progression, right? You're the peaked in high school person, and then you become like the dime square, like the like the pretentious like person in the scene, or like or maybe you go to college and you become like a bro or like a sorority girl or something. I don't know. There's like a natural progression. It's like the censor type, the censor personality type, like life progression story or some shit.
It's funny. I have a funny story. There's a girl I knew. She and I don't believe she did peak in high school. And like, so it's funny because if you knew her back then, um, you would have assumed she was the type of girl that would have peaked in high school. You know, because she was like one of those girls that, uh, like, she's the hot girl and like, kind of popular for it. But and you would have assumed on the outside, but then I ran into her not too long ago, and even back then, I always got a vibe that and stuff, but like she seems like normal. She might be married, I'm not sure, but like normal. She probably didn't peak in height. She probably peaked, after like seems doing good for herself and like normal and like you think she'd be like the type of person that would grown up like hungry for attention and stuff, but never really did, didn't seem like it. It seemed very chill. We talked and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Very chill, very cool. So yeah. And I think also too is maybe certain personalities and stuff. Like in her case, maybe she's someone that's more
Yeah.
self-aware or mature. While there's people that are in that position that
Would let it get to their head or something.
they become an OF girl and then they like it doesn't go anywhere. Then they're like crash really hard, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do hate a lot. I do hate a lot, but ultimately, it is something I do struggle with, like this sense of like, I wouldn't say superiority, but I do have like this sense of like, yeah, maybe superiority. I'm not gonna lie, with like the way I see the world or something, or like even spiritual shit. But ultimately, I do believe that everybody can be a very good person. Everybody does have the potential,
Mm-hmm.
but my distaste usually actually comes from like the fact that I see people like kind of like selling themselves short, like you know, yeah, selling themselves short or like not really being as good as they could be, like
Right.
yeah.
I'm reading
Mhm.
Dracula by Tim Paul on Genius right now. It says Dracula by Tim Paul is the third single to his fifth album. I always thought it was a band. It's not a band.
It's just one guy. Yeah.
Deadbeat. Being very catchy and melodic, the song highlights Tim Paul's psychedelic style using blah blah blah. Dracula has a bit of mysterious flow to the melody, giving an impression that there's something underneath the surface. Lyrically, the song
Ooh.
it seems to be one of love, but is also about escapism. It makes reference to the legendary vampire, and it's a version of sunlight, Dracula. I like too when Genius does this, where they have to explain everything like a baby. I didn't know that there's a legendary vampire called Dracula. What? They
Whoa.
explain everything like it's to a baby. It's very funny. Where it'd be like a
Mhm.
song where it'll be like a rap lyric. It'll be like it'll be like I'm gonna kill you tonight, and then they'll say he's saying in this lyric that he's gonna kill this guy tonight. Exactly, it like explains it.
This is like such a deep thing. Like you don't understand how deep this
I
simple
wonder what the
line
type of
is. Like
people
it's
that
got
contribute
such.
to Genius are like. There's people that probably contribute
Mhm.
to lyrics on Genius all day that explain uh, the meaning behind Playboy Cardi's lyrics.
They gas them up. They gas these guys up a lot.
Yeah. What do you think about net spend in Playboy Cardi?
Net spin.
Yeah.
I actually have no idea what Netspend is. Like
He's
the credit
the
card?
new like mumble rapper type guy. It's popular.
Dude, I haven't even heard one song from him.
Yeah, it's like really. It's like all over the place, kind of like Playboy Cardi. He's just like white Playboy Cardi kind of, but more whinier.
He's white?
Yep.
Damn. So I assume he's like Wiggerpilled.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, but he's like trying to be like an anime character, IRL anime
That
character.
sounds really cringy.
Because it is.
Yeah, that sounds like
Because it
ear jawing.
is.
That
Why
sounds
are
like if I
like
were to listen to it, like my ears would start bleeding.
what do you think about why are like I why are it's funny how like we're getting to the bit of the racy territory, but black guys and Mexican guys really like anime
I do.
and like
Well,
Naruto.
Mexicans really like Dragon Ball Z a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the archetype of like the black cell.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
like obsessed. They're like obsessed with white women. They like play Smash and they like smell like straight ass.
This sounds like a couple people I know,
hmm And they're like straight up gooners too. Not gonna lie, you can tell they're gooners, bro.
Yeah.
It's an interesting archetype. I'm not gonna lie, it's very interesting. But yeah.
What do you know what really bothers me is on gooning the like we were talking about like goths earlier or whatever. You know how there's like how everybody's goth now, and
Yeah.
but they don't even know. Um, there's somebody I actually cut out of my
What that
life.
even means?
There's somebody I cut out of my life because they told me that they wanted a big titty goth girlfriend, and this is unironic. And I was like, I have to stop talking to this person. Isn't that
God,
valid?
that's so cringe.
Isn't that valid? And they did the
I
thing
feel like
too
it
where they're
is.
like they're like, you agree with me, right? That kind of thing. Like I'm like, oh, this is dark. Where do I begin? Um,
Where do I even
if you
begin with
don't
this
even know, if
conversation?
she doesn't even know who Roz Williams is, if she doesn't know who Boyd Rice is, but if she especially doesn't know who Roz Williams is, she's not a real goth. Sorry,
Mm-mm.
you're not.
She's a larper.
Yeah, that's like saying you're like into like cinema. And you're like, well, who's Fellini? Okay, well, just get the fuck out of here, dude. You're not into film. It doesn't mean you have to like it. So if you don't know, come on, dude. But yeah, everybody's goth.
Yeah,
You know
you're
what really
entitled to
bothers me is
like
like
whatever.
there's this archetype of like big titty goth where they do like the like bah, like the goofy facial expressions, like the Higo face and like the
Mhm.
ooh big eyes ooh wee, big smile, and
Yeah.
that really bothers me. And it's like it's to appeal to the gooners that are into that because they're like children,
Yeah,
so they
it's
think like
porn,
children.
bro.
So they when they see a girl with like a ooh doing like anime expressions, goofy
hmm
anime expressions, they're like it's like a comfort to them. It gives them comfort,
Yeah, it really is just like it's porn brain,
and it's
like porn rot.
and there's something that bothers me when people do like um, I like nice people. I like especially on a woman. I like a nice smile. You know, I like a nice
hmm
smile, but I don't like when somebody there's something in my brain that really bothers me when somebody's like too expressive, where it's like manic, like ha, ooh, yee, how you doing? Yee, ha, ooh, ah, ah.
hmm
That bothers me. There's something in my
Yeah, like
brain
let
where
me
it's
chill
like
for a
this
minute.
isn't normal. This
Hmm.
isn't doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel right. When I see a big titty goth girl, like big eyes and like taking her tongue out. Ah, there's something in my brain that's like this doesn't feel right.
Well, it's like, yeah, I mean, like they're making content for Gooners.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, like they're not really real
it
people. Like
almost
they're
creates like a
basically
what you call
fake.
like an uncanny valley effect almost. I don't think it applies to that, but it's kind of like that. It's like when you
Hmm.
see AI and you're like, this doesn't feel right. There's something that's almost kind of creepy and like kind of gross feeling about it. Like
Hmm.
people like those AI videos. That guy that they use the AI voice too. The guy where it's like the black guy where he's like, uh, uh, it's like a narration where it's like telling a story about this like character, and he's all like, um,
Yeah.
and uh, SpongeBob, he founded the cure for cancer. Then he brought
Yeah.
the idea to so and so. They gave him $1 million, and then he spent the $1 million on crack. Then he went and did this. Then he did that. You know those videos?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I
Hmm.
watch those videos, people think those are really funny, but they actually kind of like when I watch them and see the visuals, because usually it's like anamorphic characters and stuff. It like creeps me out. It gives me a weird like feeling that something's not right. Like it
Mm.
actually bothers me. You know.
Yeah, it's uncanny valley. Yeah, I feel that way a lot. Like whenever like an OnlyFans girl pops up on my For You page or anything like that, I get this like this weird feeling of like, you know, obviously when you're interacting with somebody online, like you already, unless you're like relatively closer to them than other people, like we've had multiple conversations, so it doesn't really feel that way. But
Mm-hmm.
like if you've just like texted somebody online, you've never like actually spoken to them, you've never had like a call or anything, like deep down inside of yourself, you're kind of like, this might not even be a real person, like this might not even be like, this might be AI. This person might be like an AI personality.
Right.
You really don't know. You really have no way of actually knowing for sure. But
Mm-hmm.
I get that a lot with like influencers, like not all influencers, but like specifically influencers that like their thing is like essentially porn. It feels like there's something like kind of like missing behind their eyes. Like,
Yeah.
I
You see
mean,
that with Bonnie Blue.
I don't. Yeah, it's like that one. I'm not gonna say anything. It's like that 1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stare.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that whole like Japanese thing too. I was talking about pedophilic for example, like Lex, what, like the guy from Victoria's Secret, who was
Yeah.
like Jeffrey Epstein's like
Yeah.
master or whatever.
I'm not. I'm
Um
not. I'm not a. I'm not a poet. I'm doing it. You can't
yeah.
see my vision. You probably can't see my screen right now, but I have my glasses in my hand, and I'm kind of impersonating him. I'm not a poet. Is a seed when you have a seed when you have a when you have a seed that's in a banana and the banana is sitting on your kitchen table, is that banana really alive? We don't know.
Literal shivers. Jeez.
He's one of those guys where he's like one of those like older guys. They think they're smart because they take their glasses off and like fiddle around with their glasses when they're talking.
Hmm.
He's one of those guys too that probably thinks he's smart because he has like a bookcase, a shelf of books behind him when he's talking.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna say, oh yeah, the pedophilic thing. With like, you remember you were saying like the exaggerated facial expressions and like the big eyes and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Like the behavior, like the quote unquote like sexy behavior that is portrayed in media of like, a woman like dropping shit and like, you know, acting really retarded.
Yeah.
And then like
Dude,
almost
I
like this
hate those videos. Oh my god.
connotation of like hyper innocence, like really innocent, like really naive and gullible.
Yeah. Ditzy, yeah.
And kind of like almost like anorexic
Hmm.
sometimes. Doesn't that like low key kind of like it just like feels strange.
Yeah, because it
It
is,
feels like
but
kind of pedophilic or something.
yeah, and when we're talking about videos, also that appeal to like gooners, like we were talking about earlier. I don't like the videos where it's like the ones where it's like a guy walks up to a girl. It's obviously fake. He walks up to her in public. He does this.
Oh,
Says
cold
this like
approach.
Riz line, and she falls for it. Like that's just straight up like just porn. And it's or there's
Cringe.
ones where it's like, hey, um, uh, nice it's like nice rack. What? No, nice rack you have right there, and they're like in a store or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like that is the fucking worst videos ever made. Those people that make those
Oh,
should be locked up.
remember FouseyTube?
Yeah, he kind of did that.
It was kind of sort of like that. And remember the guy that like used to cold approach women, Connor something, that he like got like psychedelic psychosis.
He got some what? Psychedelic psychosis?
Yeah, Connor Murphy, I think his name was.
Connor.
But yeah, no, it's been going on for years, like ever since YouTube, bro, like early YouTube.
Oh, God.
And yeah,
Yo.
you know, like a guy will like a guy
What's
like
with this face? Yeah.
I know.
This is disgusting, dude.
La vida es
Connor
un
Murphy.
carrusel. La vida es un
Who
carrusel.
are you looking at?
Yeah. Yo. Ew. Ew. He's doing a kissy face. Ew. Ew. That's
Oh,
so
you
gross,
remember
too,
those
is, like, the
videos where it would be
kissy
like
face.
it would be like a guy cold approaching a girl and then she would like reject him and then he'd be like, "All right, I don't care anyway." And then he'd like get into like a Lamborghini and then she'd be like, "Oh my God, wait." And it would be like the Sigma music would start playing. It's like, "Oh yeah, see?"
Why does he look like that? He does the thing too. Why did guys do this? The alpha guys, they think it's sexy when they do the one eyebrow raise.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. That is
Wait,
sickening,
Dude, I have to go.
Okay.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Alright. Bye.
All right. Okay, man. Bye.
Oh my god. Is there more? Gotta watch one of the videos now. Uh-oh, girl flirts with guy on Omegle, but then Connor Murphy interrupts the conversation.
My name is Jordan.
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 What's your name?
Nita.
Hi, my name Connor, laddie. Hi, hello.
Oh my god, bro is back in shot. Bro is mass.
This guy is fucking disgusting looking. Oh my god.
What
He
happened?
caught on fire, legit. Like caught on fire.
I bet he did. Can you come on?
I'm not kidding. He caught on fire.
Okay.
Right here though.
This at home. And for you YouTube moderators,
Oh, I remember this guy.
this is a magic trick. It's not real fire. But anyway, guys, as you know, I'm always looking for excuses.
Oh God! Oh God! Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Fitbod after that one.
That is a long block of text.
So if you're a part of the spiritual and or the fitness community on YouTube, there's a good chance that you've heard about Connor Murphy's recent descent into insanity that all started days I was inspired by Connor Murphy. But then everything changed about a year ago when Connor had a profound experience on the psychedelic substance ayahuasca. And in me being a YouTuber who frequently talks about using psychedelics for healing and for personal and spiritual development, I just feel like it's my obligation to talk about 40 entire days, and by the end of that, he was looking extremely frail, like he barely had any fat left to burn. And he also live streamed the entire thing apparently, so no one could say he cheated. And he also did a bunch of other stuff that, to me at least, just came off as him doing it purely for publicity and attention, exactly like he did in his fitness and picking up girls' days on his old channel. But then, just in the past few months, he started taking ayahuasca regularly, and his delusions became even more grandiose, and this is where the whole situation really started escalating into just a flaming hot dumpster fire. So in the past few months, he claimed he predicted the bombing that happened in Nashville, Tennessee last Christmas. He started drinking his own urine, and apparently his own feces too, because he claimed it all had health benefits. He also claimed that he would use his newfound enlightenment to win the US Open in golf, and then he actually started playing at golf courses while on ayahuasca. And I also heard from his Instagram that he began to consume ayahuasca every 2 hours, which is the absolute worst way you could ever use a substance. And if you look at his Instagram and his YouTube from just the past couple weeks, it's just evolved into absolute just madness. He doesn't seem in touch with reality at all. And I don't make any of this to demonize Connor Murphy or to try and cancel him. That's not my intention at all. I really hope Connor Murphy gets help because he absolutely needs it. But my intention for making this video was to emphasize that, one, psychedelics do have their dangers when the wrong person uses them at the wrong time in the wrong circumstance. But I also want to clear up the reputation of psychedelics because right now Connor Murphy is giving them an absolutely horrible representation in the media. And a major aspect of my channel is to promote honest and open conversations about using psychedelics for healing and for personal and spiritual development, cool experience, or...
Also, we'll end it on this because I wanted to talk about this. The Roger Waters, David Draymond thing. David Draymond was on Billy Corgan's podcast, and David Draymond was like, "Oy vey, I would sign every missile that goes into Gaza," and it's so ridiculous, dude. And Roger Waters called him out, called him a sicko, and he's right.
I guess we're off of that. Here's the thing, Billy. I grew up on Pink Floyd. I loved Pink Floyd. It was such a massive betrayal, not just to me, but Jews everywhere, when he went in the direction that he did. And it wasn't just 2 years ago. He's been doing this for a long time.
Disturbed frontman David Draymond recently talked about his disappointment with Pink Floyd's Roger Waters. He explained why he felt betrayed by the legend.
Not just to me, but Jews everywhere.
Can we show the unedited clip, please? No, it's the same video. Can we find the unedited clip?
Chance at a real future. Right. Extremism is a cancer for anyone, for any.
some other guy.
Just having you encourage that dialogue.
Absolutely.
You want that dialogue.
Absolutely.
You're not closed off.
Never. You close off, and that's the end of anything.
So if Roger Waters called you tomorrow and said, let's sit down and talk, you talk to him?
Yeah, I'd have to punch him first. But, yeah.
I thought you were a man of peace.
Vocal opposition to former Pink Floyd singer Roger Waters' pro-Palestinian comments. During the discussion, Corgan attempted to broker a peace between the two musicians by having them talk, with Draymond sharing that he would be willing to do so, though he thought Waters was beyond being reached.
Just having you encourage that dialogue.
Absolutely.
You want that dialogue.
Absolutely.
You're not closed off.
Never. You close off, and that's the end of anything.
So if Roger Waters called you tomorrow and said, let's sit down and talk, you talk to him?
Yeah, I'd have to punch him first. But, yeah.
I thought you were a man of peace.
Until I get,
No, he's a man. Yeah, a man of peace. Signing missiles that are gonna blow up children. Give me a fucking break, dude.
Past a certain.
I guess I'm not trying to call you out as much as say that, at least from my perspective, the price of peace is very high, as you know.
Listen, I'd be willing to sit down and have a conversation with just about anybody except someone that can no longer be reached.
In response, Waters addressed Draymond indirectly in his missive to Corgan, calling out the Disturbed singer as a psychotic racist Nazi pig and being critical of Corgan for giving him a platform. An open letter to Billy. Dear Billy Corgan, how are you? It's been too long. Someone forwarded me this chap's appearance on your podcast. I'd never heard of him. Anyway, it turns out he has heard of me. It seems he has a problem with me standing up for human rights, particularly the human rights of my brothers and sisters in Gaza, who are being slaughtered in a genocide by the armed forces of the Nazi racist pariah state of Israel. You, being the lovely fella you are, gave this little piece of shit a chance to clarify or even modify his position. He did. He is a psychotic racist Nazi pig. I'm told, Billy, he writes messages on bombs before the IDF drops them on civilians in Gaza. Enough said. I will continue to work with all my brothers and sisters all over the world in the movement to demand equal human rights for all human beings, irrespective of their religion or ethnicity or nationality. If you, my friend, are wondering if I want a conversation with this obnoxious little prick, the answer is non merci, Billy. Life's too short. He can inhabit his tiny corner of hell without the benefit of my love and truth. Love RPS. Disturbed. Yeah, just a bit. The Disturbed singer saw the open letter and then offered his own take on the X social media platform. He wrote, and here I was open to dialogue, even with someone I so deeply disagree with. Honestly, Roger Waters, this is the reaction I unfortunately expected. It's disappointing, but predictable. Be brave, Roger, Draymond continued. Blessed are the peacemakers, right? I'm always willing to try. We must all continue to try, even with you. The Disturbed vocalist then reshared a past correspondence from the X social media platform with someone who had called him out over his signing of an IDF bomb that has generated plenty of backlash. In that posting, he wrote, I'd write fuck Hamas on every single piece of military equipment in existence if it meant actually eradicating the cancer that plagues both the Israeli and Palestinian people. Palestinian children deserve better than a life where they are taught to hate from the day they are born.